Hello, hello, YouTube fam. What is going on? All right, you guys, I'm going to give this thing just a minute to get circulating. Tell the team I'm live. And we will get going. Okay. How do I get rid of this box? Okay, so I am so excited to be here and have this conversation with you today. I am feeling extremely spicy and also want to really motivate people into motivate you and showing you like what's possible when you don't fucking give up. Like what is possible when you don't let the odds stack against you and give up. Okay, so we're gonna get spicy. We're really gonna get into it because too many people want to be coddled. Too many people want to, just, oh, everything's okay. It's okay that you're going through hard stuff and not doing what you need to do. It's okay that you don't feel good and you don't want to show up. And it's okay if you don't want to go after your dreams. And it's okay if like things get hard and sometimes that happens. Like, no, we're not sitting in that today. We're going to get a little spicy because if you want to live a life that most people will not get to ever experience, you're going to have to do what most people aren't willing to do, which is the hard fucking thing, right? People want to think that this is easy. People want to think that, running a multi-million-dollar organization and making a fuck ton of money is easy, but it's not. And I want to share a story with you guys, and I want to really share my life with you because, my mentor was bringing it up that, you've really defied the odds. Like really go in on how you have defied the odds and really persevered through something that most people would throw in the towel for. So if this is the first time you're finding me, hi, hello, how are you? I kind of wish I could see your guys' comments on YouTube. If you're here, drop me some comments. I'm actually going to see if I could like pull this up on the side, because I really do want to be able to chat with you guys and feel the energy. But my name is Jessica Cardinal, if you are new here. So I am a wife, I'm a mom, I'm a speaker, I'm a podcaster, I am a high ticket mentor. I help women scale to $10, $20, $30, $40, $50,000 per month online. And I do a lot of things. I do this while being a wife. I do it while being a mom. And it's hard freaking work. Ooh, I found it. Can I see the comments now? Yes, there. Okay. Hi, Tatiana. See, that makes it so much more fun for me when I can see you guys. Hi. Okay. I'm going to put this to the side. So that's just a little bit about me. So let's back it up a little bit and tell you guys this story. So 4.5 years ago, I decided to jump all in on my high ticket business. Okay. I decided that, I was seeing all of these people. I was in high ticket and I was in this community and I was seeing all of these people around me have success. I was seeing all of these people make, $10,000, $20,000 per month, and they were making it look easy. And they were also moms and, they were traveling and doing all these things. And I just had this thought that it was like, if they can do it, I can do it. Like, I know I can. I have a fucking strong work ethic. I'm a hard worker. I'm dedicated. I'm smart. I'm intuitive. I always worked my way up the ladder very quickly, no matter where I was at. I was always just a natural born leader. And so I was like, I know I can do it. I'm stuck working my job that I'm miserable in. My energy's in like different areas. So I can't like focus on this. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to go all in. And before I ever made a sale, I had quit my social work job, my social work career. Literally, it was 2 months after I got my bachelor's degree. I'd been in the social work field for a few years at that point, like 5 years, but I had just gotten my degree. It was 2 months later, and I come to my husband. I'm like, hey, I want to quit my job, and I want to go all in on this business. That was an interesting conversation to have when you have made a whopping no fucking money. Like, I've invested 5 figures into this business. I have not made any money, and I want to quit my job. Like, praise, hallelujah, my husband is who he is because he's absolutely amazing and was supportive through that conversation. But I quit my job. I went all in. I built a 6-figure business. And then in a year, I built a 7-figure business. And, my business at the year mark, I was making $20,000 per month consistently. And I wanted to scale, right? So fast forward, a year after that, I was removed from my high ticket community that I was a part of. And I was wrongfully so, but it ended up being the biggest blessing of my life. I had mentors that were absolutely awful to me. I always gave them their flowers. They helped me get to where I was up until that point, but they were manipulative and just terrible. Anyway, so built my own community. This is when Babs, my high ticket community organization, was really born. And me and my business partner went all in on scaling our business. And, I went from making consistently $20,000 per month. I was stuck at that level. I was making $20,000 per month for about a year. And as an entrepreneur, you can understand that, like, when you're stuck at a level, like, the goal is to like be scaling, right? You hit a level, you want to go to the next level. So when I was stuck at this level, it was so frustrating of like, what do I need to do? What am I missing? And I separated from this community. I separated from these mentors, and all of a sudden my income, went from $20,000 a month, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. And then at the end of 2024, I had 4 6-figure cash months in a row. I think my biggest cash month in 2024 was like $120,000 or something like that. And I was on a fucking roll. Okay. My business was doing so good. We had so much momentum. Everything just felt good. Everything was scaling. It was like everything I touched turned to gold. Literally. The people around me turned to gold. Like, anyone who came into my ether had success. I was helping people pop the fuck off. I was helping people make a fuck ton of money. I was making a fuck ton of money. I was scaling a brand new coaching business alongside my high ticket business. Me and Tara had done like almost $500,000 in our coaching business. Like, I was happy. I just had skin removal surgery. So I lost 85 pounds, and I had skin removal surgery, and I was looking fucking good. Everything was so good. Okay. So good. Then come November, the end of November, it was actually Thanksgiving Day. So the end of November of 2024. And all of a sudden, I guess I should preface this by saying I built this entire business. All of this that I'm talking about, made $1.5 million, built my organization to doing multiple million per month, all on Facebook. I had Instagram. I wasn't really scaling it, but I scaled it all on Facebook. I loved Facebook. I was so fucking good at Facebook. My community was absolutely incredible. The network that I built, the community that I built, it was my home, is my favorite thing, right? I went from starting at ground zero where my Facebook lives would get like 30 views, 40 views. When it would hit like 70 views, it was like a big deal. And come November 2024, my Facebook lives that I was doing, I was getting thousands of views, like 10,000 views. Okay. 5,000 views, 10,000 views, depending on the video. I had scaled my network in a very beautiful way. I'd scaled my community in a very beautiful way. But come November 2024, all of a sudden I'm at Thanksgiving with my family, and I'm like opening my phone, and there's all of these notifications that my posts on Facebook are being flagged. Everything flag. And then in my leadership chat, my closest friends and my closest top producers, they're like, shit, I'm getting flagged. And we're like sending screenshots, and like, they're getting flagged. I'm getting flagged. This is getting flagged. This is getting flagged from last year. This is getting flagged again. Like, and then all of a sudden our other top leaders, some of our closest top leaders who are making the most money, they're sending in screenshots, and they're like, shit, I'm getting flagged. My stuff's getting flagged. Like, what is happening here? And then come December, it was beginning of December, we're like, okay, well, maybe it calmed down. Maybe we're done. We just changed the way that we're marketing. We changed the wording because maybe Meta's having like a really weird thing, but then it kept happening. And I kept getting flagged. Tara kept getting flagged. Our top producers kept getting flagged. And it was just a very niche amount of us that we knew this was targeted. There was no way this was random because it was only the top producers. And the only way it's the top producers is if you know who's in the organization, right? So this was a very targeted attack. And come December of 2024, after having the biggest cash months, the most momentum I've ever had in my business, the best I've ever felt, so fucking free, so fucking impactful. I was helping so many people change their lives. My entire account went down. Now, to some average people, it's easy to be like, it's not a big deal. You lost your Facebook account. But when you have poured your literal blood, sweat, tears, years into building your entire brand on said platform, and all of a sudden you completely lose everything, that is fucking heartbreaking. And not only was it that, but it was my profile that I've had since like 2009 or something like that, since I was a child, right? And so not only did I lose the entire business, I lost all of my memories that were on there, all of my connections to my dead friends, my dead relatives, you know, pictures, videos, memories, like so much just gone in the blink of an eye because someone decided they wanted to be fucking evil, for the lack of a better word, right? So I lose it all. And then it's like mine goes down, my other leaders goes down, Tara's goes down, mine goes down, Leanne's goes down. Everyone's just starting to like domino effect go down at this point. And this was the most trying experience of my entire career. And that led to the most trying year of my career as well. 2025 has been the most trying year because we build I would start new accounts and I would try to start fresh and I would build it for 60 days all in every fucking day. And I would start to get traction on it and then that account would go down. And then I'd do it again on Instagram and I'd build it for 60 days and I would get momentum on it and I would start to find my people again that I used to have on Facebook, and then it would go down. And it got to the point within like 90 days of the new year where I just I can't even have Meta. I create a new account and it gets taken down within seconds, or it doesn't even let me get past the creation mode, no matter what, right? New phone line, new state, VPN, it doesn't fucking matter. I've done it all. I did it all. So to go from literally feeling on top of the world, like you can't take me down, I'm feeling so good, to literally dismantling everything I had built was heartbreaking. But aside from that, right, like the duality of it, well, and like the hard thing of it that a lot of people don't understand is at that point I already had an organization of thousands of people. So I'm going through the hardest time that I've ever experienced. I just lost my entire personal business. I've lost all of the connections that I've been building over the last 4 years. All of it is just gone. I don't have any way to reach my people because at that time I wasn't smart enough because I didn't really have a mentor that taught me, didn't have an email list. So I didn't have that built out yet, right? I wasn't connecting with people that way. All of it just gone. But I have this team of thousands of people. So the show must fucking continue because they're working their businesses and they're fine. They need a leader to show up. They need someone to show up that's going to guide them no matter what. So I'm going through literally the hardest thing I've ever experienced in my business, keeping it together on the front end while trying to manage my organization on the back end, while trying to pick up my personal business again, building, taking down. All of a sudden deciding, I'm going to pivot. I got to go all the way to TikTok. I got to go all the way to YouTube. But then being so fucking frustrated that I had to even make that decision, that I didn't go all in on those things because I have an ego still, right? I'm still human. And I was frustrated and I was petty and I was mad and I was pissed that I had to be forced into a box that I did not want to be forced into because Meta is just completely out. Everyone's on Meta, right? You don't just like network with people in a new city and go, oh yeah, like what's your TikTok handle? Like people aren't fucking doing that. It's what's your Instagram handle? Where can we connect, right? All my whole team on Meta without me felt so disconnected from my organization. It wasn't even funny. And I say all of that to give you guys really the picture of what happened in my life, because the point is, like, despite all of that, because of the business I built, because of the business model I leveraged, I had built passive income and I had built my energetic minimum to still close sales. Somehow I was still closing sales. Somehow I wasn't closing as many in a month that I normally would, but I would still have a sale or two come through every month. Somehow someone would find me. They'd be like, I have no idea where you went, but I found your email. Like, I don't know where you went, but like, I found you. I don't know. I found your TikTok. Thank fucking God. Like, where'd you go? I had people coming out of the woodwork being like, girl, I thought you blocked me. Like, what happened? Like, no, you just can't find me. I'm like hidden behind the scenes. I'm like the best kept secret right now. I'm like, don't fucking tell people where I'm at because I have this fear that people are going to come find me. right? But all of that, yes, and I still did everything that I could to stay connected to you guys. I really, really did, because it's still the hardest thing that I have to experience in this moment that I'm still working through, is not seeing my team on Instagram, not seeing my team on Facebook, because that's where everyone primarily builds. So I'm still not fully connected, and that part of the scenario does suck, right? And then having to pioneer a new space for everyone. It's like no one in our high ticket business is on TikTok. No one in our high ticket business scales their business and gets leads on YouTube. Like, pioneering 2 new spaces, being the one to say, like, I just gotta fucking do it. Like, I just don't have a choice. And that's really the message that I want to bring today, because despite all of this, I still had an incredible year. An incredible year. And this is the duality of it. And this is also the blessing of building a business that creates passive income, because if something like this were to happen, or if you decide to take a couple months off, or, if someone in your family, God forbid, gets sick and you have to take 6 months off your business, like, you build something that will still be there for you in these times. So even with this incredibly difficult season, this incredibly difficult year, I've still made multiple 6 figures. The sad thing is like 2024, I was so close to $1 million, like literally so fucking close to touching $1 million made. And in 2025, I was like, this is going to be my multi-million-dollar year. That was the goal going into 2025. And then this happened right at the end of the year. And so it's been actually like a whole rebirth year, a whole rebuild year. And so it's been insane. And so with that though, celebrating something so fucking incredible, right? I still had a $75,000 cash month in October. And this is actually insane to go through what I went through and what I'm still experiencing, and still have a $75,000 cash month in October. That is more than my husband used to make in a year. It's more than I used to make in a year. Obviously, he used to make more though. He used to make like $65,000 a year before I retired him. So to still have that experience in October, even despite where we are, it's like, this is why, my mentor was like, defy the odds. Like, that's who you are. Meta can try to do what they're going to do. People can try to do what they're going to do, but you always come out on top. And it's like, but I always come out, what I say, on top, because I'm unwilling to allow anything else. I am unwilling to allow anything else. There is no other option but to win. Like, there is no other option but to continue. And there's so many people who have had bad experiences in entrepreneurship, and they stop. Like, I have seen it over the years where they get to, like what people on my team would know is like 6A, 6A2-2, and then they leave the business because it just gets too hard. The leadership aspect, or people, or, something happens within their team or something like that. But what I know is that my impact is too big. My mission is too big. Like, despite the haters, despite them wanting to try to tear down what I've built, despite them, trying to take down what I've done, it's like, the light always perseveres. The good always perseveres. As long as we choose that though. Like, all of this has been a choice. You guys, there have been days where it is so much easier to want to just lay in bed and cry. So many days where it's just like, I want to do nothing because this is fucking too hard. Right? When you have built something for years and years and years, and then you're forced to redo it when you also have an organization now that you have to manage. That doesn't go away. I still have employees. I still have leadership responsibilities. I still have to coach. I still have to show up. I still have to create. I still have to build, while also trying to rebuild a business from scratch. Like, that is enough to make anyone want to just leave the industry. But I know that no matter what, everything is working in my favor. And here is the thing about faith. People say I just have faith, right? I have faith. I believe things are working out. I believe everything is working in my highest good, right? The manifestation prayer that people say, like, this or something better. I know it's this or something better. And it's so fucking easy to say that when things are going good. When things are going great, right? You're having 6-figure cash months. Everything is going easy. Leads just come to you ready to be closed. Like, everyone is buying like it's the easiest thing they've ever done. And business is booming and people are excited and And it's just like everything you touch turns to gold. It's real fucking easy to be like, yeah, I have faith. Everything works out. Everything works out for me. Everything, this or something better. But it's in these moments when it feels like everything is working against you. When it feels like nothing is going to work out. When it feels, when you can't see an end zone. You can't see the end game. Because it feels like every day you wake up, it is one thing after another. You wake up, you built a new Instagram, you opened it, and then, you wake up one day and it's fucking gone. Right? When you can't, you don't know what to do because you've never done anything else. You have an organization, but now where do you take it? Your strategy and marketing strategies were for Meta. So what do you do now? When your income goes from reliable to now it does not feel reliable. Now your nervous system is freaking out. This is when we have to have faith. This is what faith actually is when you truly believe, when you can't see another option, when you can't see the end, you can't fucking see the light at the end of the tunnel, when it feels like everything is working against you, when it feels like you just can't catch a fucking break. That is when we have faith. That's when your faith actually matters. Is that knowing, I don't see how this is important to my story. I don't see how this helps the plot. I don't see how it helps the plot. But we can understand that everything is always working out for us in divine timing. Everything is always working out for us in our highest good. So our goal, our job is to look back when we get through, first, actually, our job is to get through these things with dignity and grace. That is number one. You have to be able to move through these things with dignity and grace, because I always remember when I look back, the time is going to pass no matter what, right? So when I look back on this experience, what do I want my story to be? Do I want it to be that I freaked out? Do I want it to be that I went and bashed people online and said what I really wanted to say? Is it that I cried in my bed and I couldn't get up for weeks on end? Like, do I want it to be like, no matter what, I got up every day. No matter what, I took care of my body. No matter what, I was a great mom and I was a great wife. No matter what, I was the best coach and the best mentor I could be with the capacity of what I had. No matter what, like I chose faith and I chose positive thinking and I chose growth and development and I chose to see things in a new way and I chose to have grace and dignity. That's how I want to look back on situations like this, is how did I get through it? What is the story? The other thing is sometimes this is when we can't see it in the moment, okay? So we want to be like, well, what's the lesson? God, what am I supposed to be fucking learning right now? But the thing is you can't usually see the lesson while you're in it. The lesson and the wisdom comes afterward. The lesson and the wisdom comes like later, after you've had the experience. Then it's like you can look back because you're not emotionally attached to what's happening in the moment. And you can look back on the lesson and be like, there it is. But we're so quick to make meaning of everything because we're humans and we're meaning making machines. And that's kind of like our goal and what we want to do. So we want to make meaning of everything. So in the moment, we're like, but why, God? But why is this happening to me? Tell me why. You're not going to get the answer. You're not usually going to get the answer in the moment. It's later. It's later that we see, okay, yep, here's where my energetics were off. Here's the pivot I needed to have. Because, for example, for me, it was so easy for months, you guys. Months. Still, sometimes today, actually, I'll tell Tara and say this, but it's so easy to be like, but why am I being forced into a box? Why can't I just have Meta? There's all of these spam bots, that other countries have, where there's 50,000 spam bots actually spamming people on social media. Like, why am I fucking black sheep? Like, I don't get it. I just want to be there. And it's so easy to fall into that. But again, if we fully believe and have faith that it's this or something better, shouldn't I fully believe that there's something better on the other end of this? Like, I'm not meant to be there. Meta was keeping me in a box, maybe. right? Maybe there's a whole other community, a whole other, network that I'm supposed to tap into and create something so much bigger on TikTok and YouTube. Maybe. But if I hold on to the past and I hold on to the pain of what I think I want to do, then we don't actually have faith. Because if I'm being told over and over and over again, you're not supposed to be here. This is not what you're supposed to be doing. You're supposed to be over here, and I keep fighting it. I don't want to be over here. I don't want to do that. Just give me back my comfort zone. Then that's not true faith. So when you are going through hard times and you don't understand why, that makes sense. You don't usually understand why in the moment. You don't usually understand, and you can't usually see the bigger picture. But we are all going to go through hard times. And that is where I think a lot of people get this mixed up, is they think, well, once I'm making $10,000 per month, it'll be easy. Once I'm making $20,000 per month, it'll be easy. There's still going to be lessons. There's still going to be trials and tribulations. There's still going to be fucked up things that happen. There's still going to be things out of your control that happen. So it's not this like fake facade of, well, once I make a certain amount of money, my life will just be easy. That's not real. What it is once I make this kind of money, once I have and hold this amount of leadership, like I'll have the capacity to get through these hard things easier. I'll be able to see things a little bit differently. I'll be able to see things in a new way. I'll have the mentorship and the capacity and the guidance to get through these things. Because it doesn't get easier. There's going to be things. And I know that this was a really hard year for me, and I know just how extremely blessed I am to still say that, right? Like, it was hard, but I still made an incredible money. I still had an incredible impact. I still helped so many people change their lives. I still, my business has still moved forward. It's just not where it was, at the speed of light that it was last year. And that's okay. And I think that some of the lesson for me is like, I went to Europe at the end of May with Tara, and the biggest awakening I had while I was in Europe was like, I need to slow down. Like, I'm actually fucking tired. I'm burnt out. Like, I don't slow down enough to give gratitude to the finer things in life. I don't slow down enough to even appreciate the things that I have. And so maybe that's what this year was. I don't know. I still don't have the answer. Like, I really don't. I'm still not really out of it. I'm reclaimed my power. I'm doing what I know that I need to do, right? I'm scaling on TikTok. I'm scaling on YouTube. I'm finding my new people, finding my new network. I'm growing. I'm becoming a better mentor and a coach because I'm more multifaceted now. I can teach you how to scale on TikTok now. I can teach you how to get through hard things a little bit better. I can teach you how to defy the odds so that you don't let any circumstance or situation put you out the game. Because that's the thing, right? These people, they tried to put me out the game. These people tried to take me straight out the game. It was like, that's not going to happen. You can try to take me out. You can try to tear me down, but that's not going to happen. That's not part of my story. You're not going to write my story for me. But how many times do we go through situations and we allow, oh, well, someone said that this was a bad idea and I shouldn't do this, or someone said that I hadn't made my money back yet in this amount of time, so it's a scam. And then we let other people's thoughts, opinions dictate our decisions, dictate what we do. So the only one who can change your life is you. And this is what I try to tell my clients and the people who partner with me in high ticket is like, I'm here to guide you. I'm here to mentor you. I'm here to give you all of the tools. But this, like what we just talked about, what I went through and how I got through it, that kind of thing, that's on you. You have to have your own determination, dedication, discipline, hustle, grind, like no fucks given excuses. I can't create that for you. You have to have that fire yourself. And so for me, when I'm going through these hard things where it's like people try to take me out the game, people tell me that I'm never going to make it, it's just fuel to the fire. It's just fuel to watch me. Watch me. Because you can try, but it's not going to happen. So you can go, how do I say this? You can go through hard times, but it's what you make that mean about you that is the big difference. You can't make it mean anything about you. We have to start looking from things from an objective, like outside point of view, and not allow our emotions to run us ragged. Because when we get emotional about the things that we're going through and we make it mean something about us, that's when we let it take us out the game. Right? If you're watching this right now and you're like, yeah, like I'm new, but like I haven't closed a sale yet and I've been here for 5 months and I feel like it's never going to happen. You got to change that mindset. We don't know. We don't have a crystal ball. We don't know when it's going to work out. We don't know when the sale is going to come in. We don't know when the money's going to come in. My, $100,000 cash months, my $75,000 cash month after losing everything wasn't just on a whim of everything working out for me. It came from doing the damn thing when I didn't want to do it. It came from not letting outside opinions dictate me and my decisions. It came from my own drive to be the best that I can be. And that's why we say, like, entrepreneurs, like, we're a little obsessed, a little crazy, because we really are. And so, I'm here for however long it takes. No, exactly. And that was my thing when I got into high ticket. It wasn't like, oh, I need to make $20,000 per month by this point. When I found high ticket, it was like, so you're telling me that I can make $20,000 in a month at some point in my life? Like, I would never do that as a social worker, ever. So just telling me that they're like an option, I was like, I didn't fucking care if it took 1 year. I didn't care if it took 5 years. I didn't care if it took 10 or 20 years. Because what they were telling me to do as a social worker was to get my PhD, put in some time, open my own clinic, and maybe in 35 years, I'll have some free time and I'll be able to retire with a little bit of money. I was like, fuck that. So again, you're telling me I can get into high ticket and make $20,000 per month at some point in my life? And then when we make that decision and we say, I'm not attached to the time, I'm not attached to when it's going to happen. When we completely detach from that, that is when the magic happens. Because this is a whole other conversation that we definitely don't have time to get into today. But the attachment to the things that you desire is what is repelling it away from you. So again, if more people weren't attached to the time and they said, hey, if I make $20,000 per month at some point in my life, like I'm all the way the fuck in, and they just went all the way in without a time stamp to when it needed to happen, they would create it so much faster than they ever even imagined. I was making $100,000 per month way faster than I ever thought it would happen. I never even thought $100,000 would happen in a month when I first started in high ticket. And then it was like a year later and I was like, oh, I see people doing that. Like maybe I can one day. Maybe one day I can. And so I went all in on the one day. I didn't care when. I didn't care how. Like the how and the when are not my responsibility. My responsibility is the action I take to get there. I'm in control of my actions. I'm in control of my energetics. I'm in control of me. That's what I can control. I can control how much I put in the reps. I can control how much I study. I can control who I hire. I can control the education. I can control my mindset. That's what I can control. And then when it comes, it comes. And that came so much faster than I ever would have guessed. I'm only 31 years old. Like, what? What? So I don't care. And now the new goal is bigger. Like, I want to make $1 million a month. That's fucking wild to say out loud. But I know a lot of people who are just as good as me, or I'm just as good as them, and they're making $1 million a month. So I know it'll happen one day. Do I know when? No. Do I care when? No. It could be in 3 years from now. It could be in 2 years from now. It could be in 10 years from now. It could be in 20 years from now. I don't know when I'll make $1 million in a month. I just know it'll happen at some point because that's the goal. Right? But so many people are like, but it has to happen within this time frame. And if it doesn't happen, then I am not worthy. I am not good enough. It's never going to happen for me. It happens for her, but not for me. No, it's not that. it can't be done. It's that your energetics aren't right. It's that your mindset isn't right. So it's, again, I say this all of the time. When people ask or people think like, can this work for everyone? The answer is, I believe everyone can do this. I really do. But I don't believe everyone will. I am not the version of me that you guys would have met 4.5 years ago when I started. I was 85 pounds heavier. I had no confidence. I was so quiet when I went live. I sucked at content. I was not pretty. I did not know anything. Okay? But I got better. I developed my skill set. I made this my craft. I got fucking obsessed with my business. And that is how I have transformed in the person that I am today. Because the thing about business is it's not even just about the money. It's about the who you become completely. I'm a better wife. I'm a better mom. I'm a better friend. I'm a better coach. I'm a better sister. I'm a better everything. My health is better. My mindset is better. Everything is better in my life because I went all in on me. And that is how we get there. So if you want the secret to, how do you get to a $75,000 month? How do you get to a $100,000 a month? You don't fucking stop. That's literally the secret. People want the strategy. They're like, I remember I used to get this all the time, and I still get it sometimes, but like, especially when I first started and I went all in when I quit my job and I was scaling pretty quickly. I remember people in the community would come to me back in the day before I was running my own community. I was on my way. They would come to me and they'd be like, what are you doing that I'm not doing? Like, what's the secret sauce? And I'd be like, what are you talking about? I'm just doing what you're doing. There is no secret. I'm just doing it with the right energetics. I'm just doing it with the right mindset, doing it with the right energy, with the right intention, with no attachment. I'm just all the way the fuck in. Like, that's the difference. I'm not just going through the motions. I'm excited to show up for my business. I'm excited to create content. Like, I did not plan to be here for 36 minutes today as I am right now, but I love doing this. I love sharing stories. I love sharing inspiration. I love sharing mindset stuff. I love helping people have a fucking aha moment. I love giving someone something to implement and taking away from. I love creating impact. I love helping people have their first $10,000 a month, $20,000 a month. I love when my girls come to me and they have their first $50,000 a month. I love when Tara comes to me and she's made $2 million and she just had $110,000 a month when we've just had the hardest year. That and what people, the impact that I get to create via the work that I do is what lights me up and why I show up every day. But before you have that, you're like, I'm just going through the motions. I'm just trying to throw up a piece of content. I'm just trying to throw up this. I'm just trying to throw up that. Just throw up anything in hopes that someone's going to buy from me. It is not about the strategy. There is no secret strategy. This is why you can have someone like me. I do everything organically. Or you could have someone else who's in my same company and they do everything via ads. You can have, a coach who runs ads and that's how she scales her business. Or you can have my mentor who has done everything organically with no funnels, no sales pages, no nothing. And she's made $100 million in 5 years. Like, the thing is, it's not the strategy. It's the energetics behind the strategy. That is why you are the most important piece of your business. It's not the strategy. There's no secret sauce. It's not, this is the secret. You need to implement this strategy. It is you. The energy you bring to your business, the love you bring to your business, the connection, the depth that you bring to your business, and the transformation you want other people to have. That is what translates to big money. So if you want to have a $75,000 cash month, you have to put your energetics right behind it first. Obviously, if you're watching this and you're not already in high ticket, whether you're on TikTok or YouTube, that we do need to talk about that. You do need the right business model, okay? But business model can make it easier or harder, just gonna say. But if you're already in my high ticket business, you're like one of my queens here watching the video, it's not about the strategy. Everyone has the same strategy, and it doesn't even matter if it's the same strategy or not the same strategy. Is the energetics and the mindset behind it. It is you being all the way in. You being all in on your business. You being all in on the transformation that you want to provide other people. That is the true secret. Okay? So you can defy the odds. Doesn't matter where you come from. Doesn't matter what you've done. It doesn't matter your past experiences, your past success. You guys, I used to live in my car outside Lowe's, addicted to heroin with my dog in my car. Why should I live the life that I do today? No idea. The reason I made it out is because I got clean and then put my skills to use in other areas. So it doesn't matter your past. Jesse Lee used to always say, it doesn't matter if you're from Yale or jail. Anyone can be successful here. Anyone. But will everyone? Over my years, I've seen a lot of people get close and just not be able to fight the demons inside. And that is the saddest thing, right? So I show up for the ones who are ready. I coach the ones who are ready. I mentor the ones who are ready to put in the work, who are ready to put the ego aside, and who are ready to go all in. And then when we do that, we create pure magic. So don't think someone just has the secret. Don't think someone's just got it, because they don't. They worked to get there. And no matter what happens, you just keep fucking going, because the only way you will fail is if you quit. And that is what I remembered. That was my montage. That was my mantra when I first started. When I first quit my job and went in a high ticket, my mantra was, the only way I will fail is if I quit. And that kept me going before the money was there. And now that the money is here, and then I went through this experience that I just shared with you guys in 2025, the mantra was the same. The only way I will fail is if I quit. Tears streaming down my face, thinking, am I ever going to get out of this pit? Am I ever going to get out of this hole? Am I ever going to build the business that I had before? Am I ever going to build the fucking community that I had before? I don't know. Tears streaming down my face. The only way I will fail is if I quit. The only way I won't have my new community, the only way I won't scale, the only way it won't work is if I quit. So that is what I want you to say to yourself when you're in those moments of, I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if it's worth it. I don't know. The only way I will fail is if I quit. So then that accountability gets put back onto you. That accountability is, you are accountable for your results and also your lack of results. When we can assume that accountability, that radical accountability, our lives will change. But if we're quick to outsource it and say, it's my mentor's fault, it's the system's fault, it's the business fault, it's the economy's fault, it's the president's fault, it's whatever's fault, as soon as we push the accountability of our lack of results outward, we've already lost. So the only way I will fail is if I quit. Doesn't matter when you strike gold. It doesn't matter when it finally happens. It will inevitably happen at some point. I love you guys so much. I do have to get out of here because I have a call coming up in just a couple minutes. And I will see you guys on the next one. Please share this video if it landed with you. If it felt right and you're like, dude, I need to share this with my team, please do. I love you guys so much. I'm coming live a lot more often because it's time to get back into the rhythm of helping people and just having fun, sharing the journey, and just showing you guys the behind the scenes of what it really takes to make this kind of money and what we really go through on a day-to-day basis, because it is so fucking important. So I love you guys so much, and I will see you next time.